First, Flat Stanley waited at the airport with his boarding pass to get on the airplane to London. Flat Stanley was very excited to be on the airplane. He was a little nervous to fly. It was a 6.5-hour flight. From the airport, he got on the London Underground station, which is like a subway. Flat Stanley was so excited to finally be in London, the capital of England and the entire United Kingdom. We went on a ride on a bus to sightsee the major sights of London. First, we had to get hot chocolate. First, Flat Stanley saw Buckingham Palace, the home of Queen Elizabeth. Then we went to the Houses of Parliament, which is where the government's legislative body makes decisions. After that, Flat Stanley went to visit Westminster Abbey, one of the oldest churches in England. Over 3,000 people are buried here. It's a beautiful church. Flat Stanley was very excited to see an advertisement for Eclipse all the way over in London. Later that night, we walked to Trafalgar Square and saw the London Christmas tree. We also heard carol singers. Then we went for a walk on Regent Street to see the Christmas lights and decorations. Our first stop the next day was St. Paul's Cathedral. This is a very old church in central London. You may remember St. Paul's Cathedral from the movie Mary Poppins. This is where the woman asks you to feed the birds. St. Paul's Cathedral is in a beautiful part of London. Look at this architecture. From St. Paul's Cathedral, we walked down the stairs towards the River Thames. This is Flat Stanley and Mr. Hopper posing on the Millennium Bridge, a pedestrian bridge over the River Thames. It was very cold here. Next, we walked to Shakespeare's Globe. This is a reconstruction of the theater where William Shakespeare's plays were put on in the 1600s. Flat Stanley was very excited to see this, as he is a big fan of the play Romeo and Juliet, written by William Shakespeare. We walked under a cool railroad bridge that was lit by purple lights. It was weird to see these lights in the middle of the city. Next was the creepy but interesting Tower of London. Built in the year 1078, this castle was really used as a prison from the years 1100 until 1830. Many people were brought here through the Traitor's Gate, a place used for high-profile prisoners who were probably going to be sentenced to death for their crimes against England and the Crown. One of those people was Queen Anne Boleyn, wife of King Henry VIII and mother of Queen Elizabeth I. She is buried underneath this chapel. Then we went on a cruise on the River Thames. This is Flat Stanley enjoying himself. He could see a lot of things from the safety and warmth of our riverboat. With our visit to London almost over, we got on the Underground at the Westminster station. Flat Stanley was excited to see the final sights of London, but was also excited to get on the plane to South Africa. Then disaster struck. 3 inches of snow completely shut down all of England, and we were stuck at the airport. The only thing we had to keep warm were these tinfoil blankets. People looked like baked potatoes lined up on the floor. It was amazing how many people were stuck at the airport just like us. 2 days later, we got on a train to Birmingham, England. It was a 1.5-hour train ride. We finally got to Birmingham International Airport. Birmingham is the second largest city in England. 8 hours later, we got to Dubai. Dubai is 4 time zones away from England. Dubai is located in the Middle East. It is one of the 7 United Arab Emirates, which are located along the Persian Gulf. Flat Stanley was very excited to be in the Dubai International Airport, completed just last year. If you look at the signs are in English and in Arabic, because Dubai is an Arabic-speaking country. You can't see it very well, but this is a picture of Flat Stanley in front of the Dubai city skyline. Dubai is home to the world's tallest skyscraper. Next, we took a 10-hour flight from Dubai down the African coast to Johannesburg. Then we drove to Durban. The first thing we did was go see the ocean. Flat Stanley was very excited to see the Indian Ocean for the first time. This is Flat Stanley posing by a tidal lagoon located near the beach. Flat Stanley also swam in the Indian Ocean for the first time ever. The waves were much bigger than he was used to. We drove from Durban to Velgovanden Game Reserve in northern South Africa. We stayed at Mandoro Lodge, a very nice luxury lodge in the African wilderness. When you go on a game drive in Africa, you're in an open-air vehicle where the animals can get very close, sometimes too close. This is Flat Stanley on the deck of our lodge. You have a great view of the African plains here. You can see animals coming to the waterhole. This is a giraffe. Giraffes can only sleep for 5 minutes at a time. Flat Stanley was very excited to see kudu, a large type of African antelope. Everyone was excited to see the African white rhinoceroses. There are many African white rhinos at the Velgovanden Game Reserve. A rhino can live for up to 45 years naturally, but they face a bigger threat: humans. Humans are currently poaching or illegally hunting rhinos for their horns, which are very popular in Asia. This is a huge threat to rhinos. Later, Flat Stanley was so excited to see and hear an African lion coming across the plain. When the lion got closer, we realized that it was actually a young lion who had just been kicked out of its pride. Flat Stanley felt bad for the lion because he seemed lonely, but he also was pretty close. Next thing we saw on our trip was a herd of elephants. This herd is made up of 21 elephants. Elephant herds are basically like an extended family network, and they are led by the matriarch, or the oldest female in the herd. An elephant in the wild can live to be 35 to 50 years old. Next, we saw 2 families of warthogs traveling together. If you look closely, you'll see the second mama warthog in the background. Aren't the babies cute? It sounds like he's growling, but he's actually calling out to other lions in his pride or family. The giraffes in this video are actually running away from the lion you just saw. A lion can definitely take on a baby giraffe, and a couple lions together could even take on an adult giraffe. When you're out on a game drive, the animals can actually get pretty close, but as long as you don't stand up or make any sudden noises or movement, they won't really notice that you're there. They see the vehicle as one thing, and you're just a part of it, not a threat to them. But remember, don't stand up. Time to head home. First, we flew from Johannesburg to London Heathrow International. After a 5-hour layover, we got on our plane and began our trip back across the Atlantic Ocean to the United States. We had a wonderful time and have made lots of great memories.